Confidence and humility. Confidence and humility may sound like a cliche topic, but this has actually been an ongoing theme in my short 18 years of life. Most people value these traits, but finding the perfect balance between confidence and humility may be a challenge for many of us. It's especially hard for teenagers because some days you feel so low about yourself that you really want the confidence other friends seem to have. And other days you look at other people and think, oh my gosh, they're so arrogant, and swear to be more humble. My unique experience in life has made me think a lot about this topic. I've lived in 3 countries: Hong Kong, Japan, and the United States. I lived in Hong Kong for about 5 years, and I moved from Hong Kong to Japan when I was 10. In Hong Kong, I went to an international school where the teachers stress the importance of being open-minded so that people can be confident about their own uniqueness. We had culture days, and I was never ashamed or embarrassed about my Japanese background. And then I moved to Japan. I remember that during my 3 years of my life there, I constantly struggled with how much of my unique experience I can talk about. In Japan, everyone seemed to be humble. I especially remember one English class in elementary school. It was like those Spanish classes you may have taken in 5th grade. The teacher called on me and asked me to introduce myself in English. I was pretty fluent in English back then, but I suddenly felt self-conscious. Do I speak the way I normally would, or do I speak in a Japanese accent English? Everyone around me was humble. There's a saying, "Kenkyo wa bitoku," and it means that being humble is beautiful. This is a wild generalization. Of course, humility is a trait that is valued all around the world, but let me venture out to say, at least for this talk, that Japanese people seem to be especially sensitive to arrogance. Many experts have their own opinion to why they think Japanese people value humility so much. Through my experience, I've come up with my own opinion. And I think that the part of the reason is because of our collectivist society. Collectivist society values work group and family over individuals. Again, this is a generalization, but many Asian countries can be seen as a collectivist society, whereas the United States can be seen as an individualistic society. Some people might think that collectivist society somewhat lacks freedom, but that's not the case. From preschool, we're taught how to learn from each other and how to listen to each other. We participate in many school events. This is a picture of us in 6th grade. The whole grade, 91 of us, formed one human pyramid. A disclaimer, no one was hurt in this thing, and the teachers are well trained so that no one gets hurt. But it was very, very scary. It collapsed so many times during practices. In fact, the first time this actually worked was the day before our actual performance. But when the 3 kids made it all the way to the top, we all felt a sense of accomplishment. And we knew that without cooperation, this wouldn't have worked. Now, what does this have to do with humility? Well, I think that when people are willing to take a step back and to be able to cooperate with each other, it makes it way easier for everyone to just come together and operate together. When kids are taught from a very young age to think, how can I help others and what can I learn from others, instead of how can I be a hero in this group, it makes it easier for them to be humble. If humility means a low or modest view of one's own importance, as defined by Merriam-Webster, this data shows that Japanese students are just that. In all 3 categories, Japanese students rated themselves lower than American students. Either they actually had low self-esteem about others, or even if they didn't, they were too hesitant to admit. Either way, it shows that Japanese students value humility. Some of you have probably felt uneasy about this data. I did. If humility means that a student has to be pessimistic about themselves or show that they have low self-esteem, why is this trait valued so much in our society? This is something I've been struggling with for a long time. There was one thing I hated when I was talking to friends, teachers, and parents, adults in Japan, and that was conversations involving compliments. Whenever a conversation involved compliments in Japan, it usually went like this: "You are so good at math." "Me? No, I make so many stupid mistakes." "No, yeah, but I wish I could be like you." "No, you're way smarter. I wish I can be like you." On and on and on. It felt like it was an ongoing self denial, and I never really knew what to say. Here in the United States, I think these conversations go a little differently. When I first moved here, I was surprised at how people give compliments to each other about the smallest thing, and they'll just say thanks. They'll smile, and they'll move on with their lives. Now, I like getting compliments. I mean, who doesn't? And I love giving others compliments too. Now, let's look at the United States. I've been living here for a little over 5 years now, and I'm still amazed at how parents, teachers, and even the pop culture encourages everyone to be confident about themselves no matter what. Instead of making every student participate in one school event, they try to see uniqueness in each kid, and they give sparkly stickers and trophies each time they try. I think what's beautiful about this culture is that no one has to feel pressured to hide a part of themselves from society in fear of standing out. Of course, that's just an ideal situation. Many people have a part of themselves that they still choose to hide from society, but when the society encourages people to open up, it makes it so much easier for people to be confident about themselves. If you are a girl, you may have seen pictures of post-it notes on a mirror reminding themselves that they're beautiful, caring, smart. If not, you may have seen videos of little kids standing in front of their bathroom mirrors, shouting to their own reflection, "I'm cute, I'm awesome, today's gonna be a great day." I think this shows pure confidence right here. If I have to make sure that I mention that while confidence is a trait that is valued here in America, not every kid has the confidence they need. However, I think the key reason to why children in America are more confident than children in Japan is because of the environment. Living here in Dublin has made me open up my eyes to see what kind of environment students have to be placed in order to be confident about themselves. As a Japanese student who moved here a little over 5 years ago, I think I can talk for other foreign people when I say that this community makes it so much easier for people with unique backgrounds to be confident about themselves. For example, Japanese people organize Japanese festivals each year to show what kimono is and what calligraphy is like. The cool thing is, people actually show up to these events, and it makes them realize that their culture is appreciated in this community. Also, people here in Dublin try to form groups with people that share their own cultural backgrounds. If it wasn't for the Japanese school I go to every Saturday or the friends I made there, I probably would have thought by now that humility to that extent in Japan is ridiculous. But looking at my friends who are always humble towards their parents and teachers, I now know why this trait is valued so much in Japan. And that's like everyone in our Columbus Japanese school. So for the past few years, there were times when people wanted me to be confident about myself, and there were times when parents, especially my parents, wanted me to be more humble about myself. But these two traits are beautiful in one way or the other, and so I wanted to learn how I can balance them. And this is what I found out. It has a name that really isn't too creative, called confidence humility. I want to try and explain what I think this means in 3 parts. First, humility is a reflection of neither weakness nor insecurity. So people don't have to be pessimistic about themselves in order to look like they're being humble. I probably didn't have to fake my English accent when I was in Japan, and I probably didn't have to hide my unique experiences when I was in Japan. The second part. People who are humble are still respectful of others, and they lack personal pretension. So when they're being confident, they won't come off as being arrogant because they're still willing to listen to other people. And the third part, a more relaxed sense of confidence that doesn't require external recognition. If I was to put this in my own words, I think that it means that because people are humble, they're willing to take a step back and they're willing to look at other people and admire people's strength. They put in effort so that they can embody that. And the confidence comes from the effort they put in, not just from the end result that everyone else can see. If I put it this way, I think that confidence and humility may not only be compatible, they may also be indispensable. Thank you.